Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials.
Good morning, it's 6:30 on Saturday the 17th of September. Just making my way down to the land, and as always, not quite sure what we're going to get done today, but let's find out. Well, here we are down on the land. It's a cool morning this morning. It's actually been cool pretty much every day this week. It seems that the season's definitely changed. I think I mentioned last week about the berries on all of the different trees and bushes on the field. Certainly feels cool this morning. Going to be a bit of a busy weekend again this weekend, both here on the field and at home. Still got lots and lots of things to do, still working on the garage, though I am making progress with that, so I don't think it'll be too long before we're in there doing a few YouTube videos. Long-term viewers of the channel might remember this, mushrooms. We've got loads of them now, all the way around here and scattered around various places across the field. Interesting to watch the change in the field as it's kind of matured, with me keeping on top of the grass and generally looking after it. Anyway, let me get inside the cabin, get opened up as usual, sort the chickens out, and we'll have a little chat. Well, first things first, as usual, sorting the chickens out. They've got their greenery early today. I am in a bit of a rush, it has to be said, but we still can't neglect them, so they do need the treat. Well, good morning. It's the weekend again, and it's a cool weekend this weekend. I almost had the fire on. I was having a bit of a debate. Do I put the diesel heater on? Do I get the gas fire out? Do I get the wood stove going? Couldn't make a decision. It might be a little bit of a mix match video this weekend. Not quite sure yet. I might put out whatever I do today, or I might combine it into a bit of a mix match of Saturday, Sunday, Monday, because we've got a bank holiday this weekend. Bank holiday is due to the funeral of Her Majesty the Queen, or the previous Queen as she is now. Was debating going down to London this weekend, but having seen the news reports about the queues and the transport disruption, I decided to play it safe and stay here rather than go into the chaos of central London. But enough on that subject. So how are we this weekend, wherever you are, whatever you're doing? I hope you're staying safe and well and enjoying your weekend. I do have so much stuff to do. I really do want to get into the garage again this weekend. I've done quite a bit of work already. It's all been painted out now, so that's a blessing. I've got racking ready to install. I just need to decide where I want to put it. There's always that debate, isn't there, whenever you're doing construction type projects. I had the same thing when I was doing the bathroom, about whether I wanted to rip all the wall tiles off and replace them with this plastic panel sheeting you can get. Did I want to move the bath? Did I want to have just a shower? I probably spent more time debating what I wanted to do than I did actually doing the work itself. But that's just how it is. Talking about work and maintenance type chores, I've been having a look around the cabin as I've been coming down early mornings during the week to sort the chickens out, do the watering, making a mental note of things I want to do, construction type things I want to do in the cabin. And it seems there's an endless supply of them. I'm looking at gaps in the cladding where over the last couple of years this direct sun that I get on the cabin pretty much all day, when we have sun of course. It's had a particular impact this year because, as you know, we've had this mega drought through the year and huge temperatures that we're not really used to. So a lot of the tongue and groove or feather edge boarding that I've used for cladding has shrunk. So there are some little gaps here and there that are going to want filling. Depending on how we get on with weather over the winter, I might be tempted to actually rip off some of the cladding and actually replace it. It's not in bad condition, but some of the boards have warped, which creates little gaps. And then if we do get a wet winter, then there's the chance that water can get into those gaps and cause damage. So lots of things. There's a window wants to go up here on this wall. I'm conscious again this year because of the temperatures that it does get massively overheated in here. So to give a bit of ventilation both in here and in the garden room, I'm looking at installing a few more windows. So the list of jobs is endless. It's just a case of finding the time to getting round to doing those. I am owed lots and lots of holiday days from work this year. I've actually only had 1 day of holiday so far this year, and we're halfway through September already, which kind of tells you how busy I've been at work. I was talking to somebody literally yesterday who was on holiday, but there'd been a bit of a mini crisis, and thankfully that person took time out to have a Zoom's video call with me. And they were saying that they too had been struggling to get holidays in, and they were having to sort of take the odd day or half day here and there to try and use up the holidays, because if you don't use them by the end of the year, you lose them. Crap system, but it's how it is. And the way that employment is nowadays, you do have to be a little bit careful. You don't want to be that guy when it comes to redundancy time who's had loads of time off. Anyway, apologies, I digress, as I often do. So, what's going on in the big wide world apart from my mini dramas? There is loads as usual going on, but really today I wanted to focus on two items. I've spoken quite a lot about them before, but they are going together to create what is potentially the one big crisis that could come at the end of the year. Apologies for me rubbing my nose, but it's cold and I'm sniffing a bit. I think the cold weather has given everybody some kind of cold or flu. Lots of people are coughing and sniffling. So the two things really is energy and food. You might remember I was talking last week about what I was thinking of in terms of emergency backup power, or indeed ways of saving money on the cost of power at the new house. I've been debating and agonising over whether I want to install solar, a permanent fixed and larger scale system on the roof of the house, or whether I want to buy some kind of battery solar emergency power generator. It's quite difficult actually. I mean, the decision, if money was no object, would be very, very easy. I would just bang up a huge 4.5 kilowatt system on the roof of the house and have a 2 or 3 kilowatt hour battery bank, probably in the garage, so that when the sun's not shining, I've got battery backup power, as I do have here in the cabin. But money is an object. And given the fact I've spent lots of it recently with the house move, I just don't have that kind of spare cash sitting around. And given the state of the economy, the last thing I want to do now is get myself into more debt by, buying the system on credit. So I have been looking at the portable solar power generators, and it is not as simple and straightforward as you might imagine, and a lot of the advertisements are actually quite misleading. There are lots of cheap Chinese versions scattered around in the marketplace, and I'm trying to avoid the temptation of buying one of those just for the sake of saving a couple of £100. So I have been looking at the more well-known brand manufacturers, things like Bluetti, Jackery, Eco Solar, companies like that. But the one thing I am finding is that the actual power that these solar generators and battery banks can provide is actually quite low. The advertisement might say 700 watts, but when you actually dig into it, that's not actually the case. Usually it's about half of that, so 300, 350 watts with a peak surge of 700. So it is quite difficult to trawl through all of the small print in the advertisements and figure out just exactly how much power they will provide. The examples that they give are generally focused around camping and power supplies for camper vans or mobile homes, rather than home emergency power supplies, and that's because of the low wattage levels. So if you're out camping, hiking, or in a mobile home, really all you're wanting to power is the odd mains device that you don't have on a 12-volt system. So maybe a portable refrigerator that runs on a mains power outlet type plug, rather than hardwired into your 12-volt. So the search does continue. What I have done is, well, I've been sorting the chicken feed out this morning. I rummaged in one of the cabinets, pulled this out. It's a power usage monitor. You use these if you want to monitor your home electricity usage, and you can see how much in pounds or in watts you're actually using. And what I'm going to use this for is just to have a run around the new house, take a look at things like the fridge, the freezer, the things that you really desperately would want to keep running, the Wi-Fi hub and the power supply for the fibre internet connection, and just see what the actual usage is of those appliances, and that will provide a guide as to the minimum that I could get away with in terms of power for these portable solar generator systems. So the research and the search continues. Based on what I've seen so far, products that actually do manage to produce 7, 8, 9, 1,000 watts of power with a surge capacity, you're looking around about between £800 and £1,500. So I will continue the look, and whatever does happen with that, I will of course let you know in the video. So again, I've kind of digressed a little bit. So energy and food. There is a real risk that we are going to encounter some kind of disruption or supply shortage or rationing or blackouts of power this winter. The sanctions and the refusal of Western countries to buy oil and gas from Russia, which has essentially created this problem in the first place, that continues. We'll see as winter gets closer whether or not they relax their sanctions or whether they do some third-party dealing to buy it indirectly from Russia just to keep the lights on. We'll see what happens with that, but I am really seriously looking at that as a potential problem, hence the internet search. But related to that is the real big problem that I foresee of food. You'll be aware that over the last, 2 years actually, but predominantly this year, we've seen lots of examples of abnormal weather scattered around various parts of the world, including the ones that are the biggest food producing parts of the world. And we've had the droughts, we've had floods, we've had pests, all causing havoc with the crop planting and the crop harvesting. And that's continued all the way through the last couple of months and weeks. We've seen the drought in America. It's allegedly the worst drought in over 1,000 years. We've seen droughts all the way throughout Europe, throughout China, throughout the Far East. And more recently, we've seen flooding across the Far East and across Central Europe. You'll remember the news reports very recently about massive flooding in India and Pakistan and Bangladesh. We've just literally this week seen major flooding, a flash flood, in Italy, to add to other floods that we've seen across Central Europe. So all of that is going to have a massive impact on crop yields this year. And of course, I'm sure I've mentioned in previous videos, it's not just about this year. There will be a knock-on effect into subsequent years because, of course, the harvest is an annual thing. So whatever shortfall there is this year will impact into next year. All of the stuff that gets packaged up into bags or cans that you see on your shelf this year hasn't been produced this year. It's been produced in the previous 1, 2 or more years. So I have been going through the garage to see what I've got, and as the racking gets installed and I get it a little bit more organised, I'll take another look and I'll make a conscious effort to get topped up. I was looking at the chicken food this morning. Again, I'm starting to eat into my supplies, so I will be topping up this week and probably next week as well. And I would encourage everybody else to do the same. The food problems are definitely going to persist, and if not get worse as we head through the winter season this year, and if harvests are as bad as people are predicting, then we'll see that continue as we go through next year. So do please keep on stocking up with your long-term food supplies, and like me, I would suggest you take a look at having some kind of backup for your energy supply as we go into the winter months this year. Lots of people do comment on the videos, and I'm really grateful for that. Seen quite a few this week, some talking about planting, others looking at similar things to myself and considering how they too might be able to get some kind of alternative power supply ready for the Christmas period. So thanks for the comments. Do please continue to pop them in. I do quite often see a little engage between different people who are commenting. They have their own little mini conversation, which is really very nice. The people who view the comments are actually grateful for whatever it is that you put in. Your experience, skill, knowledge can help everybody else to build their skills and knowledge base. What are you up to this weekend? Are you forward planning like myself? Are you still busy harvesting out of your greenhouses and gardens? Let us know what it is that you're up to. Whatever it is that you're doing, please do stay safe and well. And whatever I'm up to over the course of this weekend, I'll keep you posted as we go through the video. Well, I'm just going to take the chance to pull another container of potatoes and see what we've got. These end ones here are the ones that have been mercilessly slaughtered by the, I'm presuming it's crows. So I always find like this potatoes scattered around randomly and dug up. So the birds have definitely had some. We'll take a look and see what they've left for us. There we go. Nice to see it's at least moist. There's one of the original tubers. There's a bit of a mix match in here. So you can see that's another original tuber with quite small potatoes on. A lot of the ones I've pulled so far have been very, very small in terms of the actual size of the tubers. They have come in though. Even the very small ones I've been able to use for my normal day-to-day use in the kitchen, so they've not gone to waste. But as I was saying in the cabin chat, in terms of yield, definitely less in terms of size and quantity this year versus last year. But I am still being able to harvest my own. And as they say, every little helps. But by the look of it, I think this one's going to be a bit of a disappointment. Awful lot of small ones in here. But we'll see. Lots of little tiny ones. Some of these are definitely too tiny. Green. As we're getting towards what was the surface, you can see where they've been dug up and exposed to the light. We're still getting some. I think we're about there though. Oh, there's one there. Yeah, I think that's about it. Oh. Spoke too soon. Yep, that's it. I'll get this put away and I'll show you what we got. Well, we've got potatoes, so I'm going to grab some onions as well. I know I've said this before, but I'm really pleased with the results this year from the onions. Given the weather that we've had and the struggle that we've had, just trying to keep watering them, I cannot complain at all. I mean, look at this. Really, really nice. Nice size, nice quality. I'm only taking just what I need. So, there we go. There's 6 in there. I've still got all of these left to come. I might just finish this row. So there we go, there's 8 in there. I'll grab the potatoes, grab those, and then you can have a little look and see better what I've actually got. Well, that's what we've ended up with. Onions, really, really nice. Pleased with those. They'll keep me going this week. Potatoes, a bit disappointing that bucket. A few larger size ones. All very nice and clean. Can't complain about the quality of them. It's just the size of some of them that leaves a bit to be desired. But it is where it is. And at least I am still managing to harvest. Thought I'd give you a quick run round before I disappear. As I said before, I've got my own jobs to do in the garage, but I'm also keeping an eye on a house for somebody who's working away, so busy. This pumpkin forest, I don't know if I'm going to get pumpkins or not. I have got lots of these, what appear to be the start of pumpkins. There must be a good 10 or 12 of them scattered around. I mean, you can see them down here, look. Over here. They are everywhere. It's just whether or not they develop, I guess, into pumpkins. The chilies are absolutely manic. They're flowering away endlessly, it seems, and they're putting out lots and lots of chili pods. So I'm really, really keen to see if these develop and change colour. But they are everywhere. There's loads of them. Everywhere you look, there's chili pods. So fingers crossed. You never know, I might end up with pumpkins as well as chilies, because they are everywhere, look. I guess it's down to the weather now. Whether it, I mean, it's cold today and has been quite cool all week. That might just end up killing these off. I mean, they are still flowering and they are still putting out what appears to be the start of pumpkins, but I don't know. It's the first time I've done these. We live and learn, don't we? Blueberry and figs, they're just dying back now. It's that time of year for them. That's my little haul from today. Just drying out. Have a quick run. Nothing really in the raised beds. You've seen the potatoes and the onions. The sweet corn, I don't think that's going to amount to much. I really don't. But loads of potatoes still left. And of course I did plant some more in the polytunnel. No sign of shoots yet on those, which is a little bit disappointing. I thought by now I might have had at least one shoot, but doesn't look like it. Oh, just a minute, I've spoken too soon. Just a minute. There we go, look. We have got a shoot coming there. Let's double check this one. Oh, is that? Oh, there we go. I did speak too soon. There's a little shoot just there, look. Excellent. I took a look at those other potatoes in the cabin that I've got chitting. They're still not as far developed as I would want them to be, so I think it would be a bit of a waste of time putting them in the ground now. I'll just leave them for another week, and then hopefully they can go into these 2 buckets that are sitting here waiting for them. The tomato forest still flowering like mad. There's the odd 1 or 2 here and there, so we've got some here, look, that's developing. I've got 1 red one on there. I've got a little bunch of greens coming there. This is a different variety. You can see some colour back there, look. Red tomatoes. They look about ready, actually. Let's just pull one of those off. Look at that. Actually, that's very nice. You know what's going to happen now, don't you? I'm going to get that other one. That's probably not as ready as it should be, but I don't care. Very nice. So yeah, they are slowly starting to produce. In all honesty, this is a different variety from last year. This is like the sort of, I think they're called vine tomatoes, because they produce, rather than single tomatoes, they produce this little vine effect. So maybe that's also not helped me this year. But you can see they are there. They are definitely there. Just not as many as I would like to have. There's some more buried in there, look. In terms of the cucumbers, we're getting towards the end now. I suspect there is still the odd bit of flowering going on. There's a cucumber down there, look. We've got some smaller ones over here, and it is still putting out flowers down here and here. So I'm tempted to leave them for a while. I mean, the quantity has dropped quite significantly. There's tomatoes down here as well. But I have been picking the cucumbers religiously every couple of days. I mean, there's another one back there, look. In fact, I think that one's ready, so we'll have that one out. Come off. Yeah, we'll have that one. I'm tempted to take this one as well, to be honest. Yeah, done. There's another one buried back here, look. I think we'll have that one as well. And it's still flowering on that vine. Trying to do this one-handed, it's not easy. Yeah, the quantity has started to decline, but that's not surprising given the amount I've had off these. This one also, still flowering, still putting out little baby cucumbers. We've got some more over here, but I think they are starting to die back now. So I suspect a couple of weeks tops, and we'll have seen the last of those. I mean, it's still putting flowers out, look. So no, we'll leave them. We'll leave them as long as we can, and see what happens. So that's about it, really. I've been having endless text messages while I've been doing this video, so somebody's desperately trying to get hold of me. Sun has started to break out across the field. Let's see what happens this weekend with the weather. If it's not too bad, I want to be over there and taking a look at the bees. But I think for today, that's going to be about it. So I'll get tidied up and I'll catch you later. Well, that's it for today. Hopefully we'll catch up again over the course of the weekend, as it is a long weekend. Don't know if you can see this on the floor. All of this these feathers. Something's had a meal here. Hopefully it was a pigeon that's been annoying my planting over the course of the year. Bit of payback. I mentioned the sweet corn earlier, but I didn't show you. I don't think we're going to get anything at all off those this year. They've survived the pest, but they've not survived the drought, I don't think. They look like they're just dying back, and I don't honestly think I'm going to get anything. But I'll leave them and we'll see over the course of whatever's left of this year. It is quite cold actually. I've been out with the raised beds there, lifting those potatoes and onions, and my hands are really quite cool. Look at all these rose hips. Here and across there, further over. It's definitely changed, and although this sun might warm it up a little bit later, it's not been warming me up, so I'll be keen to get back in the car and get off home. Loads to do. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, do stay safe and well. Do enjoy your weekend. Don't get overly stressed about all this stuff that's going on. Instead of panicking, prepare. That's what we should be doing. Take care, and I'll catch up with you again later.
Well, that's it for this video. I hope there was something in there that was of interest to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always, I welcome any comments, questions or suggestions you might have. Just feel free to leave them in the comments section below. But for now, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.